Tom and Jerry. They were watching that, but then we stopped and we actually did something. Hello, Matthew and Jack and who else?
There's 3 people here.
2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 15, 16. That's it. Jack and Matthew. All right. We are on the last little bit, the last 3 examples of 4, 6. And what is to come next?
Test.
Review. Holy cow. We'll spend a couple days of review. We are going to lose Tuesday of next week to ACT test prep. We're going to lose Wednesday of next week to Actions Day and Blood Drive. So we'll see. We might just get review done next week and then like test the following week. I don't know. We'll figure it out. So that will be a thing. But let's do these 3 examples. Let's get it done with 4, 7 and be done. Here we go. Composing trig functions and inverse trig functions. These are a little bit different. We talked yesterday about like inverse sine and inverse sine sometimes cancel each other out depending on the value, right? But this guy, inverse sine and sine don't necessarily cancel each other out because 7 pi over 6 does not live in the domain of inverse sine, right? Okay, so 7 pi over 6, if I look up the sine value of 7 pi over 6, it's negative 1/2. Right? But then where also has a sine of negative 1/2 is 11 pi over 6, and this does live in the domain of sine, yeah? So the answer is not 7 pi over 6, it's 11 pi over 6. That's the one that we want to go with, all right? Now, here, these guys are cosine of inverse tangent. Like, those are obviously not going to cross each other off, so we've got to do some other things. So here's what I'm going to do. Where does inverse tangent, we work from the inside out, right? Like, I have to do this stuff, this inside stuff first before I move to the outside, okay? So what 2 quadrants does inverse tangent live?
The first and second.
The
first and
the
fourth.
first and fourth. Okay, now, which one of those is tangent negative?
Bottom. The bottom one.
The bottom one. So that's how I know I'm in the 4th quadrant. Got it? Yeah? That's how I know I'm in the 4th quadrant. So inverse tangent lives in these 2, and then I would narrow it down to just the 4th quadrant because he's negative. Got it? Okay, now tangent is opposite over adjacent. So the opposite side is 8, the adjacent side is 15. Which one is negative?
8.
The 8, because he's down, right? Then I've got to figure out what the hypotenuse side is. So
Now we do
he is a special one. 8, 15. What'd you say?
17.
17. Is 17 positive or negative?
Negative. Oh.
Positive.
Always positive, because he's hypotenuse. Always positive. So this inside stuff here, this is kind of confusing. This inside stuff made me draw what he looks like. Now I just have to find cosine of him, and that's it. And then I'm done, right? Where does theta live, by the way? Where does my angle live?
In the angle.
In the angle nearest to the origin, right? So now I need to find cosine adjacent over hypotenuse. Cosine of angle theta equals
15 over
15 over 17. Yep, that's it. That's all. Got it? Yeah, find the exact value of cosine of that, right? The inside allowed me to draw him. The outside allowed me to what? Did it go?
Yeah.
What? Interesting. All right, example 7. Find the exact value of sine of inverse cosine of negative 3 over 7. Okay, so let's talk inside. Cosine, where does he live?
Oh, 1 and 2.
1 and 2. Okay, now cosine is negative. So now where are we? 2. Okay, there's my right triangle. Theta lives here. Cosine is A over H. So the adjacent side is 3. The hypotenuse side is 7. Which one is negative? 3. Okay, and then we got to figure out what this side is. Now, the only problem, so you people with the calculator, they're like, you can just type this in. It will give you a decimal. Probably.
Square root of 40.
Yeah, this guy is going to be, you said the square root of 40.
I don't know, is that right?
Yep, because negative 3 squared plus, let's call it x squared, because this guy is my side x, equals 7 squared. Yeah? Okay, negative 3 squared is 9. 7 squared is 49. So if I'm trying to solve for x, I'm going to subtract, and x squared equals the square root of 40. Right? I think. Okay.
Wait, what?
Excuse me. X is the square root of 40, not x squared. X squared is 40, so x equals the square root of 40. Now, the square root of 40, can you break that down in your head?
No.
Can you break it down in your head? 40 is
5 and 4.
4 and 10. Yeah? 4 and 10. So, 2 square roots of 10.
Like, it makes sense.
Yeah? 2 square roots of 10. Do you see what I'm saying? Okay? That's what that side is. Positive 2 square roots of 10 or negative 2 square roots of 10?
Positive.
Positive, because you're going up.
So we
You
have
see
to
how that
find
is?
the sine of-
Now I have to find sine of the angle. So now that I have him drawn, now I have to do sine, which is
So square root of 40 over
opposite over hypotenuse. So sine of angle theta is
square root of 40 over 7.
2 square roots of 10 over 7. Now, if you just type it in a calculator, though, it's going to give you the decimal, and I'm going to know that you use a calculator instead of actually doing the problem, and I'm going to count it wrong. Okay, so there you go.
Just for a second.
Good? Does that make sense? The inside makes you draw, like helps you know to draw the thing, and you know what quadrant he will be in based upon first, where's the domain, and then second, is it positive or negative? Which quadrant is positive or negative? That narrows it down to the quadrant, and then all you have to do is do your triangle and solve for the thingy thing. Okay, good? All right, example 8. I will not give you anything as hard as example 8, but I really like it because I think it's fun. Because I'm a nerd and I think it's cute. Okay, ready? All right, tangent, sine. We're looking at the inside, and inverse sine lives in where? First and fourth. Okay, but are we going to be in 1 or 4?
He's in the 4th.
Why is he in the fourth?
Because he's negative.
No, he's not. No, he's not.
Sine inverse.
So then he's in 1.
Oh, this is part of the inverse sign.
We're in 1.
He's a positive, right? He's a positive.
Oh, you made
So he is that thingy thing. Okay, now they don't give me like numbers like for opposite adjacent, but sine is opposite over hypotenuse. So that means my opposite side is disgusting. The square root of x squared minus 16. My hypotenuse side is x. Woo! Okay, we have to find the adjacent side. All right, we still do the Pythagorean theorem like we would normally. So I'm going to call this guy, what should we call him? We can't call him x, right?
X squared.
Let's call him A. Let's call him A, right? Because we can't call him x because the other ones are x, so we can't call him x. So let's say a squared plus, which side is my side B? The square root of x squared minus 16, that thing squared, is equal to c squared, which is x squared, right?
Pull up, the squares just go away.
True. So now we have a squared plus this square and the square root cancel each other off, right? Like this goes away with that. So then I just have x squared minus 16 equals x squared.
You just have x squared
is
goes away
4.
equals 16. X squared goes away, it is 4.
It is 4. Yeah? Okay, so I subtract the x squared. Some of you guys have already figured this out. So I have a squared minus 16 equals 0, right? Because the x squared's gone. Add the 16 over. A squared equals 16. And if we take the square root, a equals
4.
4. Is it a positive 4 or a negative 4, though? Because technically the square root of 16 is plus and minus 4. But in this case, it's going to be positive 4 because we're going to the right. Yeah, look at that. So we found the fourth side of the triangle. The third side of the triangle. Now we want to do tangent. So tangent of our angle theta is opposite over adjacent. Yeah?
4. What? No, it's
Right?
square root of x.
Tangent is O over A.
Yeah.
So the square root of the ugly over
Square root of x squared.
4. Look at that. What? Fancy. Yeah, you can't break it apart.
Okay, Comey, I need help with calc notes.
You can't do that.
No.
X minus.
No, because x squared minus 16 is a difference of squares, and one of them is x plus 4, and one of them is x minus 4. Yeah, does that make sense? Yeah. So you can't take the square root of x squared minus 16. So that was kind of fun. Same thing as what the two previous ones were, but with really ugly numbers. But you still do the Pythagorean theorem and everything the same way.
Oh,
Good?
it's raining.
Okay, homework is this guy. Get him going. That's the homework. Let me answer the
It
phone.
was a reference, and I hope someone would.
I got it, dude. You got it?
Hello?
Which one do you like, the hamster, the turtle, or the chick?
I like the chicken.
Oh, goodness. It's always the Saturday of Memorial Weekend, whatever that is.
I love the duck.
So I'm assuming that would be the same, but yes, that's what I'm assuming. Yes. Hey, can I get you to do me a favor? Will you announce one more time that junior high and high school track t-shirt order forms need to be turned in by the end of the day? Okay, perfect. Thank you. Bye.
Will you come here?
Okay. All right, I'm gonna stop recording. Are you guys okay?
Yeah.
All right. Finish those.
David,